What is up, live family? Hope you guys are doing well. Continuing the live per day, and just wanted to talk about again kind of what I posted this morning. And it's interesting because I had a call today, a Zoom meeting that I'm in. It's called Inner Alchemy with my friend Aaron. You've probably heard me mention him, I don't know, a few times in regards to this class and kind of the course that he's teaching. Hey, Jordan. Let's see if it pops up and asks me to invite you. There we are. Let me just get that squared away. And so in the course at the very end, we're talking about kind of emotions that come up and what that might be stopping you from doing. And are you there?
Yep. Hey.
Nice. Good to see you. Let me just finish this thought and then I'll kind of bring you in. But so we were talking about like the emotions that stop you from doing things, and what in my life right now am I not doing? And I recently have moved, and one of the things that I haven't done is there's 3 like really big totes in my basement that I just need to unpack and like put where it needs to go. And I haven't done that because I'm lazy and I'm procrastinating. And he's like, okay, well, what's the feeling behind that? I'm like, honestly, I don't really know. Like it's not super urgent and it's not super time sensitive. And then it's not going to negatively affect my life or my business if I don't do it like in this moment, like right now. I don't need to get it done right now, but what is behind that? And then, so he's like, okay, he goes, what if you just got it done this week? I'm like, what? He goes, what if you just went and got it done? Like you bought the filing cabinets or you bought the bookshelves and got all this stuff done. What if you just got it done this week and then your brain didn't have to think about it anymore? I was like, oh, I see what you did there, Aaron. You totally got me. And I'm going to do it this week. He goes, the sooner you get it done, the less you have to think about it. I was like, okay, cool. With that said, Jordan, welcome. How are you today?
Awesome. Amazing.
Yeah. You look amazing. Did you go for a run?
I did.
You did?
Yeah. Well, yeah, this morning, yeah. A little late though. It's hot, but yeah, so.
Oh, yeah. What?
So I try to get out, every day, no matter what, just because it changes everything,
For sure. It just changes your energy. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just being outside.
Yeah.
I mean, doing the 75 hard where you had to get out there at least once a day, no matter what.
Right.
I mean, I'm not doing it, but I definitely see the benefit of it, I feel like it just things for sure.
How do you like my log cabin that I'm in?
I like it. I was going to ask you about that.
It's just a background, so I have like multiple backgrounds. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be in the log cabin today. See how that feels.
Oh, cool.
See where this takes us. So like, let me ask you about that. Like going running, do you love doing that? Do you find resistance in doing that? Like, how do you feel about it?
I probably resist every day. I have to, I mean, seriously, like I know I need to go, and I always like how I feel, but it's just like, what, I have to talk myself into it a lot most of the time.
Right. And how do you talk yourself into it? Like, what do you say to yourself, or what do you say, not necessarily to maybe encourage yourself, but maybe calm or quiet the inner critic, or either version of those?
Well, I don't, before I used to, it was all about like weight or, like work, I don't know, like, I guess vain things, I suppose, like getting in shape and looking good. And that's still part of it,
Sure.
but it's the biggest thing to me now is how it makes me feel and how the rest of my day goes, how I sleep. And so I know that. So for me to talk myself into it, I just think about that. Like, you're going to feel so good. You're going to be grateful, all that kind of stuff,
Right.
like just do it. And I just like do it. Kind of like the 5-second rule, just get your shoes on and go.
Yeah. Don't think about it. Right.
Yeah.
So you say you feel better. Do you feel better, obviously physically, because you're doing physical exercise, but do you feel better mentally and emotionally? Like, how does that play into the decision that you are now convincing yourself to go do something that you don't want to do?
It's a tremendous change in my mental state. I mean, it's just, how do I describe it? I just, my body's calm and everything doesn't seem as overwhelming to me. Like, I'm just in a completely different state of mind to tackle whatever's in front of me during the
Right.
day, I guess. I just feel good. And
Yeah.
and that's just one of the things that I do to get myself in that state, but like getting outside, walking, running or whatever, if that makes sense. But
Right.
a lot of that tension goes away. All those thoughts go away,
Right.
I guess.
So I don't know if you saw me use this on one of my Facebook lives, but it's called Boost Oxygen. And one of my friends had said he travels back and forth from Florida a lot, and I've been doing that too. But he goes, you know, if you feel like you have like low oxygen and you're traveling back and forth, he goes, I use this stuff, and I've had this in my freaking pantry closet for, I don't know, months, and I've never used it because I'm like, oh, I'll just use it if I ever like need it, like I'm dying and I just need some oxygen. And he said that he uses it every time he flies back to Colorado from Florida because his anxiety spikes. It's the altitude, right? You know, people altitude sickness and they get woozy and stuff like that. It's because they don't have as much oxygen. I remember I was dating a woman that came from, lived in Ocean Beach, California, which is right next to San Diego. And she came to visit me one time and she's like, hey, I'm going to go for a jog. I'm like, all right, cool. See ya. I didn't even think anything about it, and neither did she. And like literally 7 minutes later, she comes back and she goes, I can't breathe. What's going on here? I'm like, oh, I forgot to tell you, altitude. It does make a difference. Nobody thinks about it until they experience it. So I pull on this thing probably like once or twice a day. And basically you just put it over your mouth, not your nose, your mouth. And you just suck in, and it's just pure freaking oxygen. So I'll just show you how it works real quick.
Oh. Hold it.
Wow. I feel better because it just like oxygenates your whole body, and it's just like an instant freaking oxygenation. But
What?
the reason I bring that up, but actually it just happened to be on my desk, so I'm like, I'm gonna pull it out and show Jordan. But it this morning, so a couple days ago, I did a Facebook Live about my breath work, right? And all the things that I go through to really get myself prepared for the day, and kind of like what you are doing. And you know, I go work out in the gym, I'd say six out of 7 days, but probably like more like 96 out of 100 days. Like I'm working out a lot at the gym, and so it makes me feel good. It burns off some anxiety, anxiousness, and things like that. Richard, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. And but I have to do that to be able to create the environment for myself to be really productive at work. You know, people put in 8 hours. I can usually get done in about 2.5, 3 hours, what most people probably struggle and limp through for 8 hours. So you can take the time up front to be really productive and pointed in regards to your focus. And I'll call you about lunch tomorrow, my brother. And or you can live through the day, right? You can just like keep dragging your ass through the day and like pulling yourself through the day. And the reason I bring that up in relation to our topic today is I had a friend of mine that I haven't talked to in forever, saw my Facebook Live about the breath work, reached out to me, showed me what he's doing. And it's the Wim Hof method, but really, so I've been inhaling, okay? But the thing is, when you inhale and hold your breath on the inhale, it actually is a flight or fight response, versus when you hold your breath on the exhale, it's in the healing mode of safe and social. So I've been doing that. I just started that yesterday, and this morning I held my breath for 1 minute and 36 seconds, if you can believe that, on the exhale, and it is incredible. It's totally different. It freaking switches how your mind works. The anxiousness and anxiety just like goes away. My body tingles for like in this moment, like because I'm on day 2. It was like my body and my toes tingled for about 7 minutes after I did it. It was insane. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful process. I'm so glad he reached out and decided to share his experience and kind of what he's doing. So I'm doing that, and I've committed to do that for the next 30 days. It takes about, I don't know, 15 minutes because I'm only holding my breath for 1 minute. He said he's gotten up over 3 minutes of holding his breath on the exhale. Okay.
Whoa.
Right?
Oh my. So it's like what do you mean? You do it that many times, or like?
Okay, yeah. Let me take a step back and kind of explain it. But basically, it's 40 breaths in and out. So no pause. It's and as you do it, you get deeper breaths, you know, in and out, in and out. And there's this app that kind of times you breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. So you do it 40 times, and on the 40th one, you exhale, and then it goes into a breath hold. And so I do it that 4 rounds of that, and it's beautiful. It's an amazing thing, and it's so cool because it forces your body. It forces, like, you can't fight it. It forces your body to relax and chill out. So it's not in that flight or fight response. It's in that chill, calm, safe, and social space where your body can actually heal, because that's the only place that it heals. Like if you're in fight, flight, or freeze, your body's not able to heal because it's in this heightened sense of, if it's anxiousness, fear, whatever it might be. But when you're in that safe and social place, your body can actually heal. It's an amazing difference. But again, the reason I bring that up is this morning I started doing round 1, and I was like, this sucks. I'm like, my diaphragm is still real tight, and it's like going up and down. I'm just like, oh, this sucks. How am I going to do 4 rounds of this? And then I just remember clicking. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like that. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, dude, who cares? Shut up and just do it. Right. And so I did that. I switched my brain off a little bit. I did it. And after 4 rounds, my body just super calm, like this tingling, warm, like loving sensation throughout my body. And it's just like tingling up and down. And I'm just like, wow. And I just kind of sat there in like gratitude and smiled and just was thinking about all the things that are right in my life, because there's a lot of shit that is screwed up in my life right now. Outside looking in, I think people are like, oh my gosh, man, you got a lot going on. You and I have talked about a little bit of it. And it's tough. It's really tough. But sitting in that moment after the 4 rounds of it was really amazing. But if I didn't go through that pain of that breath work, of the tension and the tightness in my lungs and my stomach, and getting past that and working through that, I would have never felt that amazing sensation of just pure calmness and tingling and connection. And yeah, it has been amazing.
That's really cool. You should like post a link or something of what you're following, I guess, if anybody, I mean, I'd like to look at it.
Yeah, I'll share
you know,
with you for sure. It's just the Wim Hof app, and then he sets it up a certain way, and it's been really amazing. But you know, the other thing too that comes to mind from that is, because I'm sharing my message and sharing my journey, people are kind of coming into my journey a little bit, right? And because I'm vulnerable and I'm sharing kind of like what I'm going through and how I'm approaching things and what I'm doing, people are coming into my life that I haven't talked to in many years and giving me little nuggets of wisdom and things that are allowing me to grow, because I'm on here doing these. And I know like so many people are so scared to do these lives, and because there's so much judgment around it and like thought process and unworthiness and all this stuff that comes up, and you have to just do it. You have to do the hard things.
Yeah. Well, and you know, a way that I like to look at it too, I mean, saying, and some people operate differently, like hard or pain, but I use it like uncomfortable. I'm comfortable for a little bit, you know, like doing these, like, I mean, I'm fine with it now, but in the beginning, I mean, you know, I show up with as I am, but in the beginning I was really self-conscious and I was uncomfortable, but then you just keep doing it till it's not, you know? And yeah, that's cool. You know, the breathing thing, I've read a lot about it. I haven't done it, and I've been wanting to. But I heard that you can get into like the same state that you could in a medicine journey.
Yeah,
with breath.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've experienced bits and pieces of that. Obviously, not to the length or the extension of it, but abso-freaking-lutely.
Okay. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. Breath work, you know, I've heard and like watched different people podcast, Joe Rogan. I forgot the guy's name. I can picture his face. But basically, they're saying that breath work and the ability to get into a state doing breath work is more powerful and more impactful than meditation.
I can see that.
Yeah. But for me, what I did this morning is I allowed the breath work to move me into my meditation, which was awesome.
That I like that though, because again, you're calm in everything. So then
Right.
you want to go to meditation. I mean, everything's on a whole new
Right.
level than just trying to quiet your mind and your body, Wow.
Right.
That's cool.
Right.
Definitely.
So is there anything else that we can discuss real quick? We're coming up on about 15 minutes, and basically as far as like things that you do that you know are going to be hard, but you know you have to do them because they're just going to make you a better version of yourself and become better. So I'll just share one real quick thing is I am 6'1" and I weigh about 180 pounds, give or take, on either side, right? And the reason I bring that up is because I used to be inflamed. I used to be puffy is a good way to do it. So I did keto and 75 hard to jumpstart me into this version of me that is really super healthy. I'm very thin, but not like thin because I'm trying to lose weight. It's because I've reduced inflammation in my body,
Wow.
right? And so, but it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy at all. But I feel like I am so freaking strong and so freaking lean. Like the combination of this, my strength and how lean I am is a testament to the work that I've done to do 75 hard and keto and all the other things that I'm doing, which then directly affects my mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't, but it was definitely worth it. So what can you share that you've done, if it's in your body, if it's your connection with God, if it's your relationships, if it's your business, something related to those lines that we could share with the audience?
I mean, I would say for me that has been the best for me is definitely having time with God or myself, or just being like every morning. That's what I go and do. I have my time, and I know that everybody's like, oh, I'm busy or whatever. I make the time, like, because
We're
I
all busy.
know what it is, how much better I am because of it. And
Right.
now it's like I go to bed early because I would rather get up earlier. You get what I mean?
Right.
Because I want time. And so that is by far the first thing of like having time with God and having time like in the quiet, meditating or just being quiet with myself, and exercising, getting some kind of exercise. And I know everybody's like, everybody says that, but it's a game changer for sure, like, and it's just little things can make a huge difference. I mean, if you're starting out and it's like, even if you take 2 minutes to do it in the morning, and it will just progress, if you're going to walk around the block, but just that little bit, you feel good, you feel empowered, and you just kind of want a little more and more. So, and mine's grown a ton. I mean, I could say a lot of things that I do in the morning. I have my thing, but I'm just kind of basically saying it.
No, I love it. So, but you've grown into it, right? It wasn't easy when you started.
Oh yeah, and I've journaled. I'm excited to share that at some point. But just like you grow into it. Like if I look at things, like I've been on this journey for a few years now, but in the beginning, it's like we were talking about yesterday, like awareness. I didn't have the awareness, but as I kept doing things, I would open up more and more, and then I would bring more in and whatnot. But in the very beginning, it was just very
Right.
basic, just what I knew to do, and that's all I can say, just start with something and then it just kind of flourishes. But just the biggest thing is consistency too, because when you do that and you're pouring that in, it gets a hold of you, and then you just keep growing with it,
Right.
So
So it reminds me of what I'm sure many people have said it, but we talk about in Warrior is what's easy to do now becomes difficult later because you're taking the easy road, which always turns into a climb later, right?
yeah.
It's choose your heart, right? Like, so being fit is hard, being fat is hard, choose your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Being divorced is hard, being married is hard, choose your heart,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yep.
so like being self-employed is hard, being regular employed is hard, choose your heart,
Yep.
right? And so it's like what is easy right now becomes harder later, but what is hard right now becomes easier later, right?
That is so
it
true.
forces
Yep.
it forces you to grow, and it forces your capacity to grow. It's just like when you lift weights, the weights don't get any lighter, you get stronger,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Exactly. And it just, yeah, yep, that's a really good point. And like you said too, it's just, for me, I was just tired of, I wanted to change,
Right.
and that's the thing, like people, like and we all know that. And if you keep doing the same thing, you can't expect different results. And so it's like, just like you said, it's hard to do these things, but it's also hard to live, you know, and the way that you're unhappy, or, you know, you're always like complaining about your weight, or I'm stressed or whatever, you know.
Right.
If you don't choose to do these things to change it, you can't really complain about it.
Right. Right. That's exactly it. So with that, any other last words of wisdom before we sign off for the day?
Just get out and do something.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so my last 2 cents would be, choose what is hard today because it'll become easier later. And choosing the hard things right now will make you a better person,
Mm-hmm.
versus choosing the easy things now that will become harder later. So,
Yep.
All right, my friends, thank you for joining us. Good to see you. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Bye, guys.